हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गाये नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहना भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तस्थमीश्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धेर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय 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 ओम नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये। हर हर महादेव। Hari Om, Hari Om. We shall chant the first two verses of this 13th chapter. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Om Atha Trayodashodhyayah. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetramityavidhiyate Etad yo vetti tam prahuhu Kshetrajna iti tadvidaha Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi Sarvakshetreshu bharata Kshetrajnayor jnanam Yattadjnanam matam mama. It's the most beautiful chapter and with a very beautiful beginning. Bhagwan Shri Krishna tells Arjuna that you have to understand these two terms properly, because through them only you will be able to realize me, recognize me. See, Ishvara is Nirgun, Nirakar, beyond all comprehension. But by Bhagwan's grace only, there are these two factors through which we can recognize Ishvara. We can realize Ishvara. And these two factors are Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Kshetra is this body which is seen, and the Kshetrajna is the knower, the seer. So the Swarupa of the Kshetra is Ishvara, and Swarupa of the Kshetrajna is also Ishvara. So through this we can realize Ishvara. We can directly experience Ishvara. If these two factors were not there, then we wouldn't have realized Ishvara. So through this we can realize Ishvara. Just as somebody knows something, we don't know what that person knows, but when he speaks, when he tells us, then we come to know. Similarly, through this Kshetra and Kshetrajna, we know Ishvara. So this body is Kshetra. See, later on Bhagavan will elaborately explain each and every part of the Kshetra, which is really includes the entire world. But now we should recognize this body as Kshetra. When we say this body, it has got two factors, the gross body and the subtle body. Both are mentioned here as idam, because both of them are experienced as idam, as this. And all that we experience as this is different from the experiencer, different from the knower. Knower and known, they are different. Only by remaining different, one can know. Eyes are different from what is seen, therefore it can be seen. Eyes cannot see themselves. So first step is to understand the Kshetra and Kshetrajna. And the Kshetrajna has to be understood, located properly. We had seen in the second chapter also, Bhagavan talked about the Kshetrajna. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit. Thereafter, in the sixth chapter also, Bhagavan talked about meditating on this Kshetrajna, the Atma. Atmasanstam manak kritva na kinchirapi chintayet. Then from 7th chapter onwards, Bhagavan talked about the kshetra made up of this prakriti, apara and para prakriti, and elaborately Bhagavan described the whole world and how everything is his vibhuti and how the whole world is himself. So the kshetra was indicated and Bhagavan said, I am the kshetra, and here Bhagavan says, I am kshetrajna. So first we have to locate this kshetra and kshetrajna properly. So this gross body I know, and this subtle body also I know. And I, the kshetrajna, remains even separated from these bodies in my deep sleep state. See, I had mentioned this before also. Let us say a straight stick is there. And if you dip it in water, half of it, if you dip it in water, then it appears bent. The straight stick appears bent when it is dipped in water. But when you remove it from water, again it appears straight. So when it is in water, it may appear bent, but it is really straight. How do you know? Because when we separate it from water, it is straight. That is its real nature. Similarly, the kshetrajna, I, appears to be identified with the body and appears to have the qualities of the body. And it identifies with the mind, my Sukshma Sharir, and appears to have the qualities of the Sukshma Sharir. But when it is separated from the gross body and the subtle body, in the Sushupti Avastha, in the deep sleep state, then I come to know that I have got no connection with my gross body and the subtle body. I am absolutely different from both. Absolutely different. I neither breathe, nor see, nor hear, nor taste, nor think, nor do anything. All these are not my dharma. I am absolutely different from the gross body and the subtle body. That I is called kshetrajna. And that I alone is termed, in different terms are there, so one should not get confused. That kshetrajna alone is called Atma, Pratyekatma, Purusha, Jiva, Karta, Bhokta, Jnata. All these are names of this kshetrajna itself. Kshetrajna is alone in deep sleep, untouched by the gross and subtle body, untouched by all our vasanas and karmas and papa and punya, ahankar. Nothing touches it. By nature, it is totally free from all this. But unfortunately, in the waking and dream, we identify with the gross body and subtle body, and this identification is extremely strong. It is very difficult to separate it unless we follow the path shown by our scriptures. Otherwise, it's impossible to separate, though they are not connected, but still to separate them is almost very, very difficult. So, recognize the kshetrajna as yourself, and when we are awake, The Kshetrajna identifies with the Sthula Sharir and Sukshma Sharir and becomes the seer, knower, doer of all the actions. When we are awake, that waking self, the Kshetrajna in the waking state, due to identification, considers itself as the knower, seer, doer. So to that waker, the knowledge is given. The knowledge of the scripture, the knowledge of the shastras are given to the waking self. Technically is called the Bahishprajna. To this waking self, Bahishprajna, the knowledge of this self is given by the Shastra. When the teacher talks, when the scripture talks, they talk to this Bahishprajna and gives him the knowledge. You cannot give that knowledge in deep sleep. You can't give the knowledge in dream. It is given in the waking state. So this waker, the Kshetrajna in the waking state, who has identified with the body mind, the knowledge is imparted to the Kshetrajna that you please recognize yourself. Recognize yourself first as different from this gross body and subtle body, and then you recognize yourself as that Ishvara. Okay? So when we look at ourselves when we were in deep sleep, in the waking state, when we analyze our deep sleep self, then we come to know, we can infer that I in the deep sleep was not restrained by any time, nor was I restrained by any objects, nor was I restrained by any space. So I was not confined to a particular space or in a time or in some object. When you contemplate and do some thinking on your waking self, then you will know that though you existed, but there was no limitation of any time in you. There was no limitation of space in you. There was no limitation of any object in you. You were that infinite. There was no division of any kind. And that same Kshetrajna is there now also in the waking. That same Kshetrajna with its same nature is present now. So the Kshetrajna in me and the Kshetrajna in you and Kshetrajna in all the beings of this world is same, because there is nothing to divide us. And that Kshetrajna is Ishvara. Okay? See, step by step we have to understand. And understand firmly, properly. The nature of the Kshetrajna, Bhagavan will tell in detail later on. I think from the 13th shloka onwards. But we have to comprehend it properly. So the Kshetrajna is same in all. Bhagavan said, Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi. Hey Arjuna, you understand that the Kshetrajna is myself. See here, Bhagavan said, Kshetrajna cha api. That cha api is most important, that word. Cha. Cha means and also. Hey Arjuna, you understand Kshetrajna also is myself. What do you mean by also? Also means that Kshetra is myself, which I have told you before, and Kshetrajna is also myself. This is very important. This world is Ishvara alone, that we have seen. And I have been telling you again and again, this world is not mithya, but it is Ishvara only. Ishvara's own Swarupa expresses as this world. So world is not different from Ishvara. Just as the ornaments are not different from gold. But gold is not an ornament. Ornaments are not different from gold. But gold is not an ornament. Similarly, world is not different from Ishvara. But Ishvara is not the world. Ishvara doesn't undergo modification, change. So this relationship of the world and Ishvara is called, technically it is called Karya Karana Ananyatvam. The oneness of effect and cause. And it's a strange oneness. Effect is cause, but cause is not effect. See, for example, a pot made from clay. The pot is clay, but clay is not pot. Means there is something in that pot which is not in the clay. For example, a pot is there, it can be broken, but clay cannot be broken. You can break a pot, but you can't break a clay. You can use the pot to fill water and all, but you can't use the clay. So the shape which is there of the clay, it plays a special role, but shape doesn't have a separate existence. The shape also is clay. But in clay, there are no shapes. So this strange relationship is there between effect and cause. So the world is Ishvara. But the world constantly changes. Ishvara doesn't change. World is inert. Ishvara is not inert. World is limited. Ishvara is not limited. But all these features are of the shape, are of the form, not of the Swarupa. The Swarup of the world is Ishvara. But the form called world has got different features. So Bhagavan has already talked about this elaborately in the 7th to all the way to 11th chapter. He revealed his identity with this world. And now he is revealing the identity, though he had revealed it before also, but now again, his identity with the Kshetrajna. That Kshetrajna is myself. So Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. So all of you who are listening to me, all of you are Kshetrajna, and that Kshetrajna is Ishvara. You don't have to become Ishvara. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to transfer anything. As you are Ishvara. That Satyam Jnanam Anantam Ishvara, that Brahma, you are that Brahma as it is. Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. Bhagavan says that in all the kshetras, it doesn't matter big, small, even in the Hiranyagarbha, Bhagavan says that Hiranyagarbha is myself. This Vaishvanara is myself. All these Devtas are myself. All human beings are myself. Animals, birds, plants are myself. Because the Kshetrajna is same. Kshetrajna in all is same. And Bhagavan says one who understands this deeply becomes free. Because now there is ignorance. Ignorance means we don't know. And this not knowing has created all the difference that we will see further. Not knowing ourselves as we are has created all the difference. Bhagavan said, Kshetrajna yor jnanam, this knowledge of Kshetra and Kshetrajna itself is the proper knowledge, tad jnanam matam mama, according to me. Because this knowledge alone liberates us from this samsara. See, this knowledge is given to whom? Again I am saying, it is given to the waking self. In the waking state, this Bahish Prajna, he identifies, means is the really Kshetrajna only, but at present, due to ignorance, identifies with the gross body and the subtle body, considers them as himself, and because of that, considers himself as Karta, Bhokta, Jnata. So when this knowledge happens in the waking state, when this knowledge happens means where in our buddhi the knowledge happens that I am Brahma. Listen carefully. In the buddhi, when we do our Shravan Manan Nididhyasan, in the buddhi that knowledge happens that I am Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi. And when that knowledge happens, the Sukshma Sharir drops the identification with the Kshetrajna. The Kshetrajna becomes free from the identification and comes to recognize himself as that Brahma. See, just as we have in our kitchen, we use that nirlep, the non-stick kadai and all. Let us say we have the nice non-stick dosa maker. We put the batter and try to prepare the dosa. First it appears to get stuck on that. But once it is properly cooked and you just touch it with that special spoon, it just what you call releases itself from that tawa and comes out. It gets separated. It cannot hold that tawa. Similarly, now, because of ignorance, as though the Sukshma Sharir is holding on to us and we are holding on to Sukshma Sharir. We are not holding actually, but Sukshma Sharir is as though holding on to us. But when this knowledge happens, it releases us from the hold. This we can understand as we study further. So here Bhagavan said, Kshetrajnam chapimam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Hey Arjuna, understand that I am the Kshetrajna in all. Now, there is one question. I mean, a lot of questions can be there. But one important question comes to our mind when we hear this statement. And what is the question? That is, if Ishvara alone is the Kshetrajna, and we know I, the Kshetrajna, identifies with this body and mind and considers myself as the Karta, Bhokta, Jnata. Though I am not Karta, Bhokta, Jnata, but I consider myself as Karta, Bhokta, Jnata. And when I consider myself Karta, Bhokta, Jnata, I become the Jiva who takes birth and dies. Means I constantly take new bodies. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Constantly take up new bodies. So that's called, I am a samsari jiva. Taking births and considering myself as the karta, bhokta, jnata. So samsari jiva, that is who I am. I, the Kshetrajna, is a samsari jiva who is bound. So if Ishvara is the Kshetrajna in all, then we will have to say Ishvara is samsari jiva. Ishvara is bound. That is one probability from the statement what Bhagavan made. And another possibility is if Ishvara alone is there in all the beings, then nobody is bound. Because Ishvara is not bound. He is not samsari. So either we have to say Ishvara is bound, or we will have to say nobody is bound. Nobody is samsari. If we say no one is samsari, then the whole scriptures and all becomes fruitless. For whom are you teaching? Because nobody is bound, nobody is samsari. So this question is there, which in his commentary, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji raises this question. See, that is the beauty of Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji's commentaries. Therefore, I say that there is nothing else is required. If you study Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji's commentary, and through that, if you try to understand Vedanta, everything will become very clear. In fact, not to study other text and other commentaries and other words is a better option, because no confusion will be there. Confusion will not be there. See, generally what happens when we try to study Vedanta, generally we study the initial some text like Tattva Bodh, Atma Bodh, Vivek Chudamani, Drig Drishya Vivek, Vedanta Sar, Panchadashi, and all these texts give a lot of definitions of the important terms, and those definitions get fixed in our head. But many of those definitions are not in tune with what Shankaracharya ji teaches us, with what the Upanishads tells us. But it has already got stuck in our head, and it becomes very difficult to remove them. It's like, suppose, it's like an accent. Like, for example, we have our own accent, our local language which we speak. Then when we speak, let us say English, though we are speaking English, people who listen to it, they can tell, oh, this person is an Indian, or he is a Gujarati, or he is a Maharashtrian, he is a Tamilian, he is a Bengali. Though he is speaking English, but that accent is there hidden. Or internationally also we know that though people are speaking English, but we can recognize an American speaking English, or a person from UK or from Australia or from China, Japan, or from Mauritius, or from what you call the Reunion Islands of the Caribbeans, from the Americans. We can recognize, because that our accent remains what we have learnt as a child. It remains in us. This is just an example. You can speak any language. Similarly, when we study Vedanta, we study the initial text. Those things remain in our head. So to remove them is very difficult. Many times, many of these definitions are not in tune with what Shankaracharya ji tells us. For example, the definition of Maya, Avidya, Sthula Sharir, Sukshma Sharir, Karan Sharir, Vivek, Vairagya, Moksha, Ishvara, Brahma, Hiranyagarbha, Vaishvanara. So many terms are there which have to be understood properly to understand the subject. Once we understand, everything is so clear, so direct. Then we just have to do our sadhana and realize the self. Then there is no vagueness in our sadhana. Otherwise, things are very vague. Anyway, so after listening to this statement of Bhagwan, that I am the Kshetrajna in all the Kshetras, this doubt might come in our mind. So let us read that doubt which Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji writes in his commentary. He himself raises the doubt and he himself answers also. He says, कि nanu means the doubt, कि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु एक एव ईश्वरो न अन्यः तद व्यतिरिक्तो भोक्ता विद्यते चेत तत ईश्वरस्य संसारित्वं प्राप्तम्. He says that if you say कि in all the kshetras एक एव ईश्वर, only one Ishvara is there, न अन्यः तद व्यतिरिक्तः, other than him there is no other bhokta in this body, vidyate chet tat ishvarasya samsaritvam praptam, then we will have to say Ishvara has become samsari. Ishvara is the samsari. Samsari means the karta, bhokta, jnata, jiva, and his samsari is bound. Samsari has got sorrow, pain, trouble. So if Ishvara himself is samsari, then who will save him? Then how can he gain liberation? Because when we are samsari, we look up to Ishvara, who is Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupaha. So we pray to him, we take his blessings, we take help from him, because he is liberated, he is free, so he can help us. But if you listen to this statement, it appears that Ishvara is samsari, then we will have to say that is one possibility. But if you say no, Ishvara is Ishvara only, he remains Ishvara only, as Kshetrajna also is Ishvara, then we will have to say Ishvara Vyatirekena va samsarinaha anyasya abhavat samsara abhava prasangaha. If we say that no, Ishvara remains as Ishvara, but he is present in all as Kshetrajna, and Ishvara is not a samsari, Ishvara is always free, always liberated, then there is no samsar for anyone. And if there is no samsar for anyone, तच्च उभयम अनिष्टम बंध मोक्ष हेतु शास्त्र अनर्थक्य प्रसंगात. Then all these shastra, the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Puranas, the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, all the teachings of all these Mahatmas and all this will be totally useless, because for whom it is there? Because generally these teachings are there to one who is bound, to one who is samsari. But if we say Ishvara alone is there in all and Ishvara is not a samsari, then for whom are the Shastras? So Shastras will become useless. Anarthakya prasangat. But, this is the question, but he says, but from our direct experience we come to understand that there is samsara. Pratyakshadi pramana virodhacha. With direct praman, we come to know that there is sorrow, there is pain, there is fear, there is tragedy in this world. So if we say Ishvara alone is there in everyone, then there should not be any sorrow, pain, fear, trouble. But we see it, we experience it. So this statement will be against this direct Praman. Says pratyakshena tavat sukha dukkha tad hetu lakshanaha samsara upalabhyate. Directly when we see the presence of samsara. People are suffering, animals, birds are suffering, sorrow, pain. Everywhere there is sarvam dukkham dukkham, sarvam kshanikam kshanikam. Sorrow is there everywhere. If Ishvara alone is there in everyone, and if he is a liberated being, then there should not be any sorrow, there should not be any pain. Everyone should be happy and free from all trouble. वैसा तो दिखता नहीं है. And जगत वैचित्र्य उपलब्धे च धर्माधर्म निमित्त samsara अनुमीयते. So seeing this, and all these sorrows are also of different scale. Some are more happy, some are less happy, some are very much happy or suffering. So there are different scales of sorrow and suffering in this world. That means there are different scales of karma which are giving different scales of sorrow. That means there is papa and punya roop samsara is there. Dharma dharma nimittaha samsara anumiyate. We can infer the presence of samsara. But by saying that Ishvara alone is the kshetrajna in all, sarvam etad anupapannam atma Ishvara ekatve. If the kshetrajna and Ishvara are one, then all this will become totally unexplainable. So this statement doesn't seem to be true. Statement is very nice to hear, but it doesn't seem to be true from the experience. So hope you understood. If I am Ishvara, if all of us are Ishvara, so there are two possibilities. Either Ishvara is a samsari, or there is no samsari. There is no samsari, we can't say, because there is sorrow, pain everywhere. So how to understand this statement? Though Ishvara is the kshetrajna, but still there is sorrow, pain, trouble. How to understand this? So Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji says that this is possible, unfortunately. This is possible due to avidya. Na jnana jnanayoho anyatvena upapattehe. Though I am Ishvara, but there is this possibility that I don't know, that avidya is there. So though I am really Ishvara, due to avidya, I experience something else. avidya has got this. Avidya means ignorance. Ignorance has got this strange ability to make us unaware of our own real nature, and because of that we assume ourselves to be something else. Bhagavan says this is said in the scriptures also. So the scriptures are not useless. The scriptures also acknowledge this. Ki though all the jivas are actually Ishvara only, but from beginningless time, all these jivas are having ignorance, and because of that, they assume themselves to be someone else, something else. So the whole Shastras are meant to remove this false assumption. And once this false assumption goes away, we will realize that I was always free, I am always that Brahma. But that false assumption is there. So Bhagavan quotes from the scripture also, ki duramete viparite vishuchi avidyaya cha vidyeti nyata. The path of avidya is different and path of vidya is different. See, a ignorant person is also Brahma, a wise person also is Brahma. I am as much Brahma as Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi is Brahma. But my experience is different and Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's experience is different. Because he has become free of avidya. So when we have ignorance, our experience is different. Ignorance is not a thing, but the effect of ignorance is seen. Effect of ignorance is seen. Though it is not a thing, the effect of ignorance is seen. And when we gain this knowledge, then we become free. See, here Shankaracharya ji also gives the example that how ignorance can affect. For example, let us say a person walks on the road, like during the rainy season also, the whole place become flooded with water. Even on the roads, lot of water start accumulating. And some people walk, and there are some potholes, and many of them fall into that. So who has fallen into the pothole? The one who doesn't know. But one who knows about it remains safe. One who has got this proper knowledge remains safe. And one who doesn't have knowledge falls into trouble. So you can see the difference between ignorance and knowledge. Therefore, in the world also, nowadays also, during this pandemic, the government and the medical system and all tries to educate the people that please stay safe, wear your mask when you go out, be careful in interacting with people around. So they educate. And when we get educated properly, then we can save ourselves. But one who is ignorant and doesn't follow the proper precautions, get harmed. So there is a difference between knowledge and ignorance. So at present, though Ishvara is Kshetrajna, though I am Ishvara, but I have this ignorance. So even when I am told that you are that Ishvara, you are Brahma, this ignorance doesn't go very easily. And due to this ignorance, I assume myself to be a limited jiva and get bound. So this ignorance have to be eliminated through right knowledge. Therefore Bhagavan quotes from the scripture also, कि इह चेद अवेदित अत सत्यमस्ति न चेद इह अवेदित महति विनष्टि. If we gain this knowledge while living in this world, when we have the opportunity as a human being, then that is, we will be able to fulfill our life. Otherwise it's a great loss. And tamevam vidvan amruta iha bhavati, and knowing that Brahma, ourself as Brahma alone, will make us free from this samsara. Nanyah pantha vidyate yanaya, there is no other path. We have to recognize ourselves as Brahma. Ourself means the Kshetrajna is Brahma. And this we can understand. It is not something just what you call theory or something esoteric, but we can understand. We can understand. I will tell you how. See, Brahma is indicated as Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. Satyam is pure existence. Jnanam means pure knowledge. And Anantam means infinite, unbound. So when we think about ourselves when we were asleep, see, we were asleep means the mind and intellect sleep, we don't sleep. So when the mind and intellect was asleep, when we look at ourselves, when we think about ourselves when we were in deep sleep, what do we know about that? We only know that I existed. There was this pure existence only. I can tell about myself as I existed. And I know that I existed. And there was no limitation of any kind. I was not bound by time, space and objects. So the lakshanas of Brahma as Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, we can see very well possible in ourselves, the Kshetrajna. I hope you understand. It is very well possible in ourselves, a Kshetrajna. So once we are convinced about it, then we can do our sadhana of meditation. Now what we are doing is Shravan. Now what you are doing is just Shravan. This is the Shravan. That you are the Kshetrajna. You, the Kshetrajna, is Brahma. When you listen to this and understand this is called Shravan. When you contemplate and understand this without any doubt, then that is Manan. And thereafter, then we meditate and realize it. So now we are just doing Shravan. So understand, listen to it carefully and understand properly. तो क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत. Even in this Bhagavad Gita also Bhagavan tells कि अज्ञानेन आवृतं ज्ञानं तेन मुह्यन्ति जन्तवः, that due to ignorance all these beings are getting deluded and one who has dropped this ignorance becomes free here and now. Ihaiva terjitas sargaha esham samme sthitam manaha. Even in the Upanishad, it is said कि विद्वान न विभेति कुतश्चन. A wise person who has recognized himself becomes free of all fear. And Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati. One who knows Brahma becomes Brahma. So the importance of self-knowledge and the problem of ignorance is very well said in the scriptures. So though Ishvara is Kshetrajna, but the Kshetrajna, due to ignorance, is not aware of that. Is not aware of that. So when he is reminded of his nature, he becomes aware. There is a very interesting story in our literature about Raja Dushyanta. Raja Dushyanta, he had gone to the forest and he met a beautiful girl, Shakuntala, and he got married to her. And then he left her there only in the forest and came back to his kingdom, telling her that I will come and take you to the kingdom and all. So this Shakuntala was waiting there for this king to come. A child was also born, Bharat. And she was just thinking about him all the time. Then one Rishi came and she was unaware of him, and he got annoyed and cursed her that the person about you whom you are thinking will forget you. He will not remember you. And really the Dushyanta almost forgot Shakuntala. So she came to the kingdom and she told that king that don't you remember me? I am Shakuntala, we got married and this child. He said, I don't remember anything. Then there was this Akashvani. And then suddenly the king remembered. Yes, I remember. And he accepted them. Similarly, though the Kshetrajna is Brahma, but due to ignorance, somehow there is forgetfulness. So the scriptures remind us. And once we are reminded, we become free of our ignorance and gain abidance in our own self. Very interesting. So more about this we will see in our next class. Now, Diwali. So many of you have requested for holidays. So we will have holidays. Fridays, Saturdays, Sunday and Monday. 4 days holidays. And we will continue with this class on Tuesday. Okay? So you can celebrate your Diwali properly and pray for the welfare of everyone. Let there be light in the life of all beings. Always pray for everyone, because you are also included in everyone. Okay? And I will just ask one question actually, which you try to answer about the Kshetrajna. 2 days, 3 days, I think I have been talking about it. So you just write Who is the Kshetrajna? Who are you? Who is the Kshetrajna? Don't just write I am Brahman and all, and you have to write about the Kshetra and the Kshetrajna. What is the relationship between Kshetra and Kshetrajna? And who exactly is the Kshetrajna? Pinpoint a Kshetrajna properly. Many of you don't answer my questions, so even if you don't answer, you contemplate on this and understand for yourself. Because unless you understand yourself a Kshetrajna properly, all this teaching will be wasted only. So understand the Kshetrajna. Who is the Kshetrajna? Okay? So till then you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy, do your work, do your sadhana, celebrate your Diwali very nicely, be happy, enjoy, be fearless, because Ishvara is there protecting all of us, and ultimately our Swarup itself is Ishvara. And we shall meet again on Tuesday. Tuesday. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Boli Syavar Ramachandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om. Happy Diwali to you all. Hari Om.